If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Carmentary. My name is Neil, and today I'm going to talk about the best practices when visiting Japan's Universal Studios. Universal Studios Japan is located in the mega city of Osaka, Japan. And it is a fantastic place to go with your friends or your family or whatever your situation is. It's a major tourist attraction. We have Tokyo Disneyland in Tokyo and Universal Studios in Osaka. So I just came back from a trip with my family. We're a family of 5. We have 3 daughters, high school, middle school, and elementary school, 5th grade. So that gives you an idea of what our particular situation is. I'm gonna try to talk through a couple concepts and ways that you might enjoy Universal Studios Japan and give you a couple of tips. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna get into is, are you the type of person, people, or family, or group, whatever your situation is, are you wanting to ride a lot of rides? That is the key question you need to ask yourself right away. Do you want to ride a lot of rides? And when I say rides, I'm talking about the roller coasters. You have the Flying Dinosaur, you have the Hollywood Dream, you have Backdrop, you have the Harry Potter ride, you have Spider-Man, you have Jurassic Park, you have Jaws. There's a whole bunch of them. And the most popular ones during a peak season, especially a weekend, a crazy packed day, you could be standing in line for I've seen videos of people posting stuff like 200 minutes, 240 minutes wait time. Like, what is that? What is 240 minutes? That doesn't even make sense to me. You could watch like an entire, several episodes of Marvel movie. You could watch Endgame twice or something. It's ridiculous. So if you want to ride a lot of rides, let's just say that's you. Let's go to that first, okay? Because that was what we wanted to do. We got 3 kids. They're all at an age and size now where we can all ride all the roller coasters together. If you have really little kids, you're going to be in a different situation because you're going to be going to some of the smaller rides or the stuff aimed at the kids, etc. You're not going to be aiming for all those roller coasters. I'm talking to the people who really want to ride a lot of roller coasters and get your satisfaction, because I think the key is to get a lot of rides in straight away early in the day. You want to get in there and ride a couple of the key rides, maybe even do one back to back. We did Flying Dinosaur back to back straight away in the morning, and that was amazing. After that, by 10 a.m. we felt like we'd gotten our money's worth. Okay, so how do you do it? First of all, rule number 1, you gotta get there early. Stop wasting your time. Get there early. Now, okay, here's the deal. You're either gonna stand in line for about 2 hours early in the morning outside of the gate, waiting for them to open. They'll be playing this music and staff will come out and do little games with you and all this kind of crap. You'll either do that or you'll show up late with a huge crowd of people coming off the train, walking in there. You'll be like, oh man, this is packed. And then you will spend more than 2 hours standing in line for one ride. So which do you want to do? I think the choice is easy. Get your ass up early. If you are staying at one of the official hotels right near the park, you have no excuse. Do not get breakfast with your hotel. Do not get breakfast with your hotel. That is a key. If you get breakfast, that means you gotta wait till 7:30 to be eating your crappy buffet breakfast at the hotel. Then everyone's gonna go back to the room and be a little lethargic because you just ate all this sugar. And then you're gonna I gotta go to the bathroom. And you're finally gonna get to the gate after 9 a.m. when they've already opened. Huge mistake. Okay, you gotta get to the gate at 6 a.m. That's it. I said it. I told you the key secret of the entire day right there. You can stop watching the video now, even though there'll be a little more info. But if you just take that one thing and put that in your brain and say, I gotta get to the gate at 6 a.m. and the rest of my day is gonna be amazing. Problem solved. You've worked it out. You'll get to the gate at 6 a.m. and what you're gonna find is they've got like a pre-gate. It's not like the real entrance gate where you go through security. There's like a pre-gate and they'll make you line up there for a little while. I think they opened it at like 6:30. So I think at like 6:30, the very nice staff, you know, they're like, we were all in this little orderly line and they opened it up and they're like, come on in, and they like guide you in all slow. And there's stands where you actually buy your ticket, but we had pre-purchased our ticket. So now we come to key number 2. Pre-purchase your tickets on the web store. This is a key. I think if you just walk up and buy a ticket, I mean, that's a whole nother genre. You are not in the group of people that want to ride a lot of rides. And if you think you are, oh man, you got to rethink your whole game. If you want to ride a lot of rides, you got to be willing to get on the website, work it out, get logged in, get your credit card details in there, figure it all out, and get your tickets and get your screenshot of your QR codes. So we're a family of 5. We needed 5 QR codes. You can do screenshots and you can put them all on one phone. It works fine. There's no problem. You just flip through and they scan it for each person as you go through the gate. It was not an issue. So that's number 1. Number 2, concerning the tickets. You will want to buy the Express Pass. That is an additional feature now at Universal Studios Japan. It's like Disneyland had the Fast Pass kind of scenario that gives you a separate entrance into the rides, so you can get in there and basically cut the line. You basically pay extra money to cut the line, and then as you walk by all the people who have been standing there sweating in the sun, you'd be like, ha, I paid the money. And they'll be looking at you like, you fucking rich motherfucker. They'll like literally give you dirty looks, but who cares? You paid the money, you can cut the line. That's the kind of world we live in now. It ain't fair. Just deal with it and buy the Express Pass. Now, the Universal Studios Japan Express Pass system is rather confusing. My wife spent a couple of days probably trying to figure it out. There's all these different grades of passes. Some give you access to like 4 rides, and 2 of the rides will be pre-decided, and then you get to choose 2 others, and it's a mess, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a great system, but that's what it is. That's a whole nother video to rant about that. If you have the money, I would say get the most expensive one. Why not? You got the money. Buy your day pass, buy the most expensive Express Pass that gives you like access to everything. We did not. We bought the one that gives us access to 4 rides. 2 were included and 2 we got to choose. So I think we chose the Hollywood Dream and the Flying Dinosaur, which are like the 2 main roller coasters. Obviously we want to get those. And then I think the Harry Potter ride, and then there's a Harry Potter like roller coaster that's kind of a little one maybe for like smaller kids, but it's still kind of fun. And that was like included in the set, and we wanted to do the Harry Potter thing probably twice in the day anyway, so we thought that's a good choice. We got that. Now there's a third option for those of you who really want to get a lot of rides in, and I highly recommend it, although we did not do it for our family this time, but in the future if we go back I would definitely do it. And that is the early in pass. There's another extra pass that you can buy that gives you early access to the park. And we're talking about 30 minutes of early access. Now, what's 30 minutes? You're like, 30 minutes? What is that? Don't underestimate 30 minutes inside of Universal Studios Japan with only all the other people who were willing to put up the money for the early in pass. And I got to see it right in front of my face. We got to the entrance. We stood there from like 6:30, and they opened the gates at 8:02 a.m. for the early in people. And they were all like right in front of us coming in. We're watching them all come in. There was even like a school group. And we're like, school kids? Well, what's up with the school kids getting the early in? I guess they had some kind of like tour deal with their school tour that got them in early. And there was not a lot of people. And we saw them all kind of go in. They all got in about 10 minutes through the security and the check-in and everything. And then we sat there, and literally the Hollywood Dream roller coaster is right near the entrance. And you can see there's like 3 or 4 people on the roller coaster. And they're like, yeah, like going by. And you're like, man, that could have been us. We could have been on the roller coaster right now if we just paid the extra like 8,000 yen or whatever it is. So if you want to ride more rides than anybody, I guarantee you, get on the website, get your pass, then get the early in extra pass, then get the express pass that includes at least the 4 ride one, because then you can choose 2 that you really want to ride. And if you do this and you get there at 6 a.m. and you get there right at the front of the line, well, actually, if you've bought the early in pass, you don't have to get there at 6 a.m. This is another added benefit. You might even be able to squeak in a little bit of that buffet. You could like go to the buffet and you could get a couple sausage scrambled runny eggs, stuff that in your face. Then you could cruise over there. The early in people, they just sort of sauntered in. They're literally like, hey, hi all you people who've been sitting here since 6 a.m., you suckers. They literally had that look on their face. And they walked in and they walked right up the side and then in front of us, basically. We had been like roped off slightly, like 3 meters back from the security gates. And this group of people just cruise in at about like 7:30. And then some more came in at like 7:45. And then the ones who were really in the know showed up at like 7:59, like 3 minutes before they actually opened the gate for the early in people. I imagine the early in time changes depending on the weekday, weekend, or season. From what we've seen on other videos and people giving tips and tricks to get into Universal Studios and have a better day, I think during like spring vacation, summer vacation, when it's like really crowded, they will open the park much earlier. I've seen a situation where it's like 7:15 they opened it for the early ins, and it changes. So I think if you buy the early in pass, they will probably send you an email or some kind of information that says show up by this time. So judging by what I saw the other day, most of the people for the early ins showed up at about 7:45. So I think there was probably a message to them that said, hey, you know, the early in's gonna be at 8 a.m. So please try to be there by 7:45 so you can get in. Because like if you get there, and this is another thing, again, it goes back to my point number 1, just get there early. Even if you have the early in pass, there's gonna be maybe 100 or 200 or whatever number of people who bought the early in pass. So do you wanna be at the front of that line, or do you wanna be at the back of that line? That is the choice that you have to really like decide. Like, we paid this extra money to ride more rides than anybody else in line. That's the whole reason you buy the early in pass. So why not get there 15 minutes early? You know, why not set your alarm a little early? Why stop complaining and be like, I'm tired, I had too many beers last night? No, just get up early. Suck it up. You paid the money. Get there and ride the rides, and then you can blab about it to everybody. man, we rode more rides than anybody else in Universal Studios. We rode Flying Dinosaur 17 times in a row. Whatever. Okay, let me clarify. Number one key, whether you buy the early in, the express pass, or whatever. I mean, you could have a great day just with the normal pass, as long as you get there at 6 to 6:30 a.m. Between 6 and 6:30 on a weekday, on a weekend, you might want to be even a little earlier. We were right at the front. We were literally the first people in line. They have a whole bunch of these security gates that you have to go through. They check your bag, and then they QR code scan your ticket, and then you're in. We were the first people in our line. That's how early we were. So we got in straight away. We were able to ride the Hollywood Dream immediately. We did backdrop, which was a pretty hardcore thing to do at, 8 a.m. in the morning, I gotta admit. But it was great. No wait, we walked right into it. We rode that, then we were like, okay, we gotta go to Flying Dinosaur. We went straight to Flying Dinosaur. Again, no real wait time in line. We just went straight through. It takes a little while to get on that ride because they make you put everything in a locker now, and they've really cranked down on the strictness of stuff in your pockets. The last time I was there about 3 or 4 years ago, it was not nearly that strict. They didn't even have lockers. They made you just take your, when you got on the ride, you would put all your stuff in a basket and leave it there, and then when you came back, you would pick it up. They've changed the system now. They give you this little paper with a QR code. You have to scan it, a locker opens, you put all your stuff in, and they make you turn your pockets inside out. They're like, turn your pockets inside out, and we want to see that there's nothing in your pockets. And you have to show them, and then you get to the next person, and they punch a hole in your little QR code paper to show that you've passed through there. And then there's actually someone with an electronic metal detector device, and they scan everybody front and back, just like at the airport. And then you finally get into the stairwell that leads up to the ride, and then there's one more check for stuff in your pocket. It's pretty intense, but I understand it. There's way too many people trying to sneak something on so that they can try to get a photo or a video of the ride to post to their social media, blah blah blah. They've got nets strung up at key spots under the ride, and later on in the day when we came back, there was actually a pair of eyeglasses stuck in the net. So someone had got through all that security and all those checks and still had their eyewear on. And you would think that, you would realize, if they're giving you that much trouble about having a little piece of candy in your pocket, don't you think your eyewear is gonna come off? You're flying through the air at 100 kilometers an hour, upside down, turning around. You see the ride 100 times before you even get on it. Come on! But no, there's gotta be that one person who's like, oh, I need my glasses. Anyway, that's another rant for another video. So I've gotten off topic. I think you got the point now, and probably everyone has clicked away to another video, so that's fine. Now, if you're not the person or the group of people or the family who wants to ride a ton of rides, maybe you have little kids, you just want to go do the Super Mario thing, you just kind of want to cruise around, whatever, there's still a way to get in a little bit earlier. So let's say you still want to have the full day experience. So you want to eat a little breakfast at the buffet, you want to enjoy that as well. I totally understand that. You're not in a rush to get tons of rides. But you still want to get there at about opening time or a little earlier. You're pretty, serious about your enjoyment level. You're like, hey, we want to get there. We're spending all this money. It ain't cheap. We want to really enjoy the whole experience. So we're going to get there at 8:30. Okay, you're going to get there at 8:30. The gates have opened. The early in people have already gone in. And at 8:30 on a weekday, that's when the normal gates are going to open and the crunch is going to start happening. And you are going to find yourself in a huge mass of humanity. Now, as I said, they've got this sort of arched entranceway with all these gates. The key thing is to avoid the center. You do not want to go to the center because that is where the most people are going to be. So you want to head either to the far left gates or the far right gates. Apparently it doesn't really matter. There's people who have studied this. There's a guy in Japan who goes to Universal Studios Japan 200 times a year. And he's got a YouTube channel, and that's all he does. He just talks about Universal Studios and how crowded it is, etc. Amazing. Anyway, from watching his videos and from our own experience last week, you'll definitely want to go to the left or the right because they've got certain gates blocked off for those early in people. So what happens is everybody stands up, it's backing up, there's all this massive humanity, and those early in people get in at, let's say, 8 a.m. They let them all in, and then that left side and the right side, there's about 4 or 5 gates right there. They had this rope, blocking everybody off. They moved that rope up, and those people kind of go whoosh and kind of get to step up a little bit. The center gates, they're locked in, man. They've been up at the very front from the very beginning. Mass of humanity, all stuck together. They're not moving. So you want to just get to the left or the right as soon as you get there. Let's say you get there at 7:45, 8 a.m., whatever it is. You're going to want to get to the far left, and you're going to feel like, oh man, we're stuck here. This is terrible. But then after the early ins get in, you're going to get this little motion forward, like 10 steps. And when it's 10 steps in like this mass of people and you see all the people in the center not moving, you get that little bit of satisfaction, that little bit of joy. It's like, I moved up. I am closer to getting in than you. And that is an amazing feeling. So left side or right side, that'll get you up there. You'll get in a little bit earlier than being stuck in the middle with all those suckers who did not watch this video or a video like it, and you'll get in a little bit earlier. You'll get more time to do what you want to do in your style, whatever that is. You could go ride Elmo's skateboard with the little kids. You could do the Meet Hello Kitty or whatever it is. They had the Minions meet and greet. There's a lot of entertainment, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. Even if you do not ride one single ride the whole day, I think Universal Studios Japan is still a really fun, fantastic experience. There's something there for everyone. And final tip, popcorn. Kids love popcorn. And they have all these kind of collectible cases. They got the Minions one, they got Elmo, like whatever it is. Each popcorn stand has a certain flavor of popcorn, and they'll have this collectible case that you can put your popcorn in. If you buy the case, they're usually like $35 to $45 for the case. It comes with one free load of popcorn, and then after that you can get refills at any stand, and they're like 100 yen cheaper or something. It's worth it though. Like you get a cheaper deal on popcorn when you get refills. And even if you only have one popcorn case, you can still go up to the stand and be like, we want 2 refills, and they'll put it in a paper bag and just hand it to you. So then you can fill up your kids' popcorn with like half of it, and then you can mac on the rest of it, which is kind of what I did all day. So I think it is worth getting one of those cases. It's a nice little gift to take home as well. The kids are stoked on having it, etc., etc. The popcorn stands and the food places around Universal Studios in general tend to shut down a little earlier than I had envisioned. I think it was around like between 4 and 5 p.m. All the little stands, and not just the popcorn ones, but the food stands, start shutting down from the back of the park because they're trying to get people to slowly, like make their way out. And it was remarkable how many people leave around 4 to 5 p.m. The park really starts to empty out, and you're left with the core group of people who really just want to ride rides, and like also people who probably showed up late. There's a lot of people who come at like noon and just do the afternoon into evening, so they kind of stick around. But the people who were there from the morning, they kind of like get tired, and we were tired too, but we'd spent all that money and we stuck it out. So my daughter at around 4:30 p.m. was like, I want more popcorn. So we're like on a popcorn hunt, and all the stands around were like shut down, and we had to walk like the entire park. Finally, I asked a staff member and said, hey, yo, what's up with the popcorn? Like, where can we get popcorn? And there's one popcorn stand very near the entrance, right near the entrance, that little main street that you come down when you first come in. That remains open to the very end. You can get popcorn on your way home at 9 p.m. or whatever. Like, they don't close till the very end. So if you're in need of popcorn late in the day, you'll have to head to the entrance. And I think it was a basic butter and salt flavored popcorn. Most of the other stands were the caramel flavor, and kids love the caramel. Caramel is good, but at some point you kind of want another flavor. The Minions one had a salted caramel banana flavor. Of course, Minions, banana, right? We did not try that one. It did not sound appealing at the time. And anyway, the popcorn was good. The street stands and the food stalls in general, good high quality stuff. Actually, I mean, I'm not into the turkey leg thing. I saw some cool burritos. There was some unique churros kind of stuff. Like, the prices were not like outrageous. Obviously, it's not going to be cheap food in there, and you're not allowed to bring in food of your own. But we did see people like sneaking stuff in. They don't check your bags that carefully. It's not like an airport security. They're trying to get people in there and fast. So they just kind of look through your bag. Obviously, they're looking for like tripods and selfie sticks and, weapons and whatever, But it's not a very hardcore security check. Anyway, that is my general wrap up. I think I got everything in there. Get there early, buy all the extra passes, spend the money, bite the bullet, just do it. You will be way more satisfied, and you'll come away with all those memories. Like, your kids are gonna love it. And even if you don't have kids, you're gonna love it. Your girlfriend's gonna love it, or whoever you're with. You're gonna be like, man, we did Flying Dinosaur like 3 times back to back, and we didn't even wait. It was amazing. And it's all thanks to that dude Neil, who's talking for 30 minutes nonstop in his car, giving us all that great advice for free. Well, you might have had to watch an ad. I hope you watched the ad. Okay, that's it. Remember, everybody, drive safe.
If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.